This is episode number 2 of the comparison from the books from Jim Collins, Good to Great, Great by Choice, and Dennis Jaffe's wonderful book, Borrowed from the Grandchildren, The Evolution of the 100-Year Family Enterprise. Welcome. In my first episode, I have compared the book Good to Great from Jim Collins and the book of Dennis Jaffe's Borrowed from the Grandchildren, The Evolution of the 100-Year Family Enterprise. I have compared in 6 principles and in takeaways what we can learn from these both wonderful books and what we can form as a structure, as a system, and what we can use in parallels for the benefit of the families. Today, I will compare the book Great by Choice and to the book from Dennis Jaffe, Borrowed from the Grandchildren, The Evolution of the 100-Year Family Enterprise. Both books, and please excuse me if I use my notes once again, is put the center of the uncertainty in the middle. And I will also use 6 principles for you that make it clearer that we can use these wonderful content and that we can form a structure and a system for the benefit of the families, especially for them. There I want to become just a century family, or what I called a tribe, or tribe of significance. And I will start with the first principle, thriving in uncertainty. And Jim Collins explained in the book Great by Choice that successful companies embrace uncertainty with a strategy called the productive paranoia. And they expect chaos and plan rigorously. Dennis Jaffe explained in his book, generational families embrace uncertainty in economical, rationally, and generationally by building an adaptable governance and fostering resilience. And the parallel between these 2 authors is that success over time requires acknowledging and preparing for the unpredictability rather than being derailed by it. The second principle is disciplined action over bold gamble. Jim Collins described this as a 20-mile march. And he explained, great companies don't overreact to good or bad times. They maintain consistent progress through disciplined goals. And Dennis, successful families stay grounded in values and maintain steady involvement across generations, avoiding extremes or control or neglect. And the parallel, long-term resilience in both enterprises and families comes from consistent, measured actions, not reacting impulsively to short-term shifts. Principle number 3, empirical creativity and experimentation. Jim Collins described this, great companies don't bet the farm. They test, validate, and then scale. Innovation is deliberate, not reckless. And Dennis Jaffe, families that endure encourage innovation among rising generations, but within structured systems that balance risk and legacy. The parallel, innovation thrives best within thoughtful boundaries. It's not about chaos, but creative discipline. And my takeaway is, and my question for you is, what kind of system do you use in your family? Please consider. Principle number 4. It's called the SMAC recipe. And SMAC steht specific, methodical, and consistent practices. Jim Collins described this in his book, Great by Choice. exceptional performers. They develop a SMAC recipe, clear, consistent practices that guide them through change. And Dennis Jaffe, successful families have formal processes like family councils, charters, learning systems that provide stability during transitions. The parallel between both: codified practices and routines help both organizations, enterprises, and families stay aligned and resilient in the face of change. Principle number 5. Leadership that builds enduring culture. In Great by Choice, Jim Collins explains, leaders who drives in chaos cultivates cultures of disciplines, ambitions, and humility. And in Borrowed from My Grandchildren, in lasting families, leadership becomes collaborative and developmental, nurturing, raising generations rather than dominating. In parallel, enduring leadership is about building strong, adaptive cultures and not just delivering results. The family culture is just your ground foundation in your governance. And principle number 6, return on luck. Jim Collins described this: great companies don't get more luck. They make better use of the luck they get. Dennis Jaffe, families that drive through crisis, momentums, deaths, business failures, into a turning points through communication and shared values. And the interesting parallel is, it is not whether luck comes, but how you respond, in which preparation, values, and cohesion. And I will take this last principle, the term cohesion. Family cohesion is a strong, strong foundation what you want to build up. So for now, I hope that comparison is very valuable for you to use it and to consider it. And I will give you just in the end of this short episode, just a little story. I've approached a family leader of a 5th generation European, very successful family. And we had a very interesting discussion about family culture, family cohesion, and stuff like that. Before we jump in this kind of discussion, the family leader approached me with following sentences. He called, please don't treat me as a snowflake. Please don't treat our family as a snowflake. And I react, can you please describe this for me? And he said, clearly, the whole world is talking about that families are very unique. That each family is just a snowflake. And he said to me, that isn't just true. Can I ask you some question? He comes up with a question to me. And I say, yes, absolutely. And he asked me, if we both compare our both families, do you certain that there are some patterns between your family and my family? It doesn't really matter whether it's our family is a big family and maybe your family is a small family. And I say, yes, that could be. There are some patterns because we are humans, we are individuals. And he said, that's the point. And he ended our conversation with a wish. He said to me, for the benefit of our family and for the benefit of all the families out there, we should stop to treat each family as a snowflake. Because if you go out and if you want to compare an enterprise, you can compare this clearly by various numbers, revenue, profit, stuff like that. And we should start in a discussion how we can compare ourselves on certain patterns. and how we can increase these certain patterns, that we are becoming stronger, that we are becoming more significant, that we are become more influential on a positive manner. And that is just the driving force, what we are looking for as a family. And also, is it just better for us as a family that we are having system, a structure in place? What drives us to uncertainty? What gives us orientation? And what makes us, in the end of the day, strong? And I said to him, I agree totally with you. And that was just the starting point to consider to develop a system, a structure for families who want to become a tribe over generation, a tribe of significance, a tribe of relevance, a tribe of significance. For now, I hope that was very helpful for you, for your internal discussion. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate and drop me an email or approach me on LinkedIn and have a discussion about this. Until next, be bold. Many, many thanks.